The street was quiet, except for the faint hum of cars passing by and the rustling leaves in the trees. In the middle of it all, crouched on the gray pavement, sat a young boy. His small frame looked fragile against the busy backdrop of the city. He was about 9 years old, with pale skin and wide, worried eyes that darted down to his hands. His dark gray hoodie was pulled tightly over his head, casting shadows over his face, but his expression was unmistakably distressed. He sat with his knees drawn up, clutching his chest with trembling hands. His fingers lingered on his shirt, as if trying to hold himself together. Beside him, his backpack was wide open, its contents spilled out on the ground. Crumpled papers, a small toy, and a crumpled water bottle. Whatever was inside was now scattered around him, forgotten as he stared down at his hands. The boy's shoulders shivered, not just from the cold, but from something deeper. Fear, confusion, maybe even sadness. His eyes flicked around nervously, looking past the street, past the cars, to the 2 figures in dark uniforms walking away in the distance. They wore hats and jackets that looked official, their steps quick and purposeful. They didn't seem to notice him, but he watched them, closely, as if expecting something or someone. The scene was tense. The boy's posture told a story, one of distress, of loss, maybe even of being lost himself. He looked down at his hands again, as if searching for answers in his palms. Why was he here? How did he end up on this street? His mind swirled with questions, but no answers came. A small, crumpled note peeked out from his pocket, fluttering slightly in the breeze. It had words written hurriedly on it, but they were smudged and hard to read from where he was. Still, the boy reached out hesitantly and touched it, clutching it tightly. Whatever was written there, it was important, more important than he could understand right now. Suddenly, a faint sound broke the silence, a distant siren wail echoing through the city like a call from somewhere far away. The boy's eyes widened. His breathing quickened. He looked around once more, then slowly, hesitantly, he pushed himself to his feet. His legs felt shaky, but he stood firm, clutching his backpack tightly as if it could protect him. And then, just as he took a step forward, a voice, soft but urgent, whispered in his mind, "You're not alone. You have to find help." The boy paused, his heart pounding. He looked down the street where the figures had disappeared, and a new sense of determination flickered in his eyes. He didn't know what lay ahead, but he knew that whatever was happening, he couldn't stay here. He had to keep moving, to find someone who could understand what he was going through, and maybe, just maybe, find the answers he desperately needed. The boy took a deep breath, trying to steady his trembling hands. The distant wail of sirens grew louder, echoing through the city streets like a call that couldn't be ignored. His eyes flicked once more toward the direction where the figures had disappeared. Those dark uniforms that seemed to carry secrets he didn't understand. Every nerve in his little body urged him to run, to hide, to do something. Anything but stand still. But instead, he took a cautious step forward. The pavement beneath his shoes felt cold and hard, a stark contrast to the warmth of the feelings. Swirling inside him, fear, confusion, and a flicker of hope. He glanced down at his hands again, wondering what they had touched that made him feel so uneasy. The crumpled note in his pocket was still there, heavy with unspoken words. As he moved, his eyes caught sight of a small, shiny object near the edge of the sidewalk. Curious despite himself, he bent down carefully and picked it up. It was a broken key, its metal gleaming faintly in the sunlight. Somehow, it looked important, like it belonged to a secret place or held the key to something that could change everything. The boy's brow furrowed. Why would a key be here, on this busy street? He looked around again, searching for clues or any sign of someone who might help. The street was bustling now. Cars whizzed past and people hurried by, none paying him any mind. The boy's heart thumped loudly in his chest. He wanted to call out, to ask for help, but his voice felt lost in the noise. Suddenly, a shadow loomed over him. He looked up quickly and saw a figure approaching, an adult, dressed in a dark jacket and jeans, walking with a purpose. The boy froze, clutching the key tightly. The figure seemed to notice him and slowed down, their eyes narrowing, as they looked at the boy's distressed face. "Hey, kid," the stranger said softly, kneeling down to his level. "Are you okay? What's wrong?" The boy hesitated, clutching his backpack as if it were a shield. His voice caught in his throat, but something in the stranger's kind eyes made him feel a tiny bit safer. He wanted to say something, anything, but the words wouldn't come out. Before he could speak, a loud siren blared again, closer this time, and the stranger's expression changed. They looked around quickly as if sensing danger. The boy's heart pounded even faster, realizing that whatever was happening was bigger than him. He clutched the broken key tightly in his hand, feeling its cool weight. Whatever this key unlocked, he knew now that it might be his only chance to find out the truth, and, maybe, to find himself again. He took a step closer to the stranger, eyes wide and searching, knowing that whatever came next, his story was only just beginning. The stranger's eyes flicked over the boy's trembling form, and for a moment, a flicker of concern crossed their face. Then, with a quick glance behind them, they crouched down further, lowering their voice to a whisper. "Listen, kid, I don't know what's going on, but you're in danger. That key you're clutching, it's special. It's part of something bigger than you realize. We need to get out of here. Fast." The boy's breath hitched, uncertain, whether to trust this stranger or run away. His mind spun with questions. Who was this person? Why did they seem to know about the key? And most of all, what was so important about it? His hands trembled as he tightened his grip around the small metal object, feeling its cold, smooth surface against his palm. Suddenly, a distant shout echoed through the street, sharp and urgent. The sound made both of them freeze. From around the corner, a group of people hurried past, some with hurried, anxious faces, others looking over their shoulders as if they were fleeing from something unseen. The stranger looked at the boy, eyes steely with determination. "We don't have much time," they said. "That note you have, can you show me? I might recognize it." The boy hesitated, then slowly reached into his pocket and pulled out the crumpled piece of paper. As he unfolded it, he saw hurried writing, symbols, and a strange drawing. A map, perhaps. His fingers trembled as he handed it over. The stranger's eyes widened slightly as they studied the note. This is a clue. It's part of a larger puzzle, and if we don't act now, everything might fall apart." They looked around again, eyes scanning the street for any sign of danger. Then, standing up swiftly, they extended a hand toward the boy. "Come with me. I know a place where we can talk and figure out what to do next. But we need to move. Quietly." The boy hesitated for a moment, clutching the key to his chest. His mind raced with doubts and fears, but deep inside, a flicker of hope ignited. Maybe, just maybe, this stranger was the beginning of his way out of whatever darkness had found him. Slowly, he reached out and took the stranger's hand, feeling the cool grip that promised safety and answers. As they hurried down the street together, the boy glanced back once more at the fading figures in dark uniforms. Whatever was coming, he knew now that he had a part to play, and that this was only the start of a journey unlike any he had ever imagined. The alleyway was narrow and shadowed, shadows dancing on the damp brick walls as the two figures hurried through it. The stranger kept a steady pace, glancing over their shoulder occasionally to ensure they weren't being followed. The boy, clutching the mysterious key tightly, struggled to keep up, his heart pounding in his chest, not just from the run, but from the flood of questions racing through his mind. Finally, they reached a small, hidden door set into the side of a building. The stranger reached into their pocket, extracting a tiny tool, and quickly worked at the lock. With a soft click, the door swung open, revealing a dimly lit room filled with shelves of old books, strange artifacts, and glowing screens. It looked like a secret hideout, something out of a storybook. Inside, the stranger turned to him, eyes serious. "This is a safe place, at least for now. We've got a lot to talk about, and you've got a lot to understand. That key you hold, it's part of a legend, a story buried deep beneath the city's surface. And that note? It's a map to something that could change everything, if we can find it." The boy hesitated, still clutching the key, now feeling its weight both physically and symbolically. "But why me? Why this key? I don't understand." The stranger knelt down to meet his eyes, voice gentle but firm. "Because you're the only one who can unlock what's hidden. This isn't just about you or me. It's about a secret that's been kept for centuries. And now it's waking up again. We need to find the next clue, and fast." Outside, the distant sirens had quieted, but the tension in the room was thicker than ever. The boy looked around, feeling both overwhelmed and strangely hopeful. He had no idea what lay ahead, but he knew that whatever came next, he wouldn't face it alone. With a deep breath, he nodded. The adventure was just beginning, and he was ready to step into the unknown.